The Spartans are the equal of any men when they fight as individuals. Fighting together as a collective, they surpass all other men. The smell of death lingers in the air. Piercing screams fill your ears, followed by the squelching of iron sinking into skin. Frantically, you reach blindly around, feeling for anything solid to help you back to your feet, but your arms are not listening to your brain. From the corner of your eye, you catch sight of a red cloak flapping in the wind as you scramble your legs, desperately trying to get back to your feet. A man looms over you, his bronze breastplate soaked in blood. This is it. A Spartan hoplite towers over you, clutching his spear as you attempt to scream. All the air is knocked from your lungs as they punctured by a razor-sharp iron tip. As the light drains from your eyes, the last thing you see in this mortal world is a smile flicker across your killer's face. Although this sounds like a scene straight from a movie, this would have been the reality for many poor ancient Greeks who found themselves on the wrong side of the battlefield to a Spartan army. How did the Spartans garner this reputation, and what kind of training could turn regular children into stone-cold killing machines? Life as a child was hard in ancient Sparta, and that was for the lucky ones who made it past infancy. Due to the popularity of the epic film 300, everyone knows the stories of what happened to weak Spartan children. But while the film was inaccurate about a lot of things, historical texts may back up this particular claim. According to the ancient Greek historian Plutarch, the well-built and sturdy children were allowed to live, while those who were deemed unhealthy or deformed were left at the foot of a mountain to die. This barbaric ritual gave only the strongest of children a shot at life. At the age of 7, Spartan boys were turned over by their parents to the state, where they were organized into companies that lived, studied, and trained together. This training was called the agog. At the beginning of their training, one boy from each company was chosen to be captain of the company, based on their courage in fighting and excellent judgment. The rest all kept their eyes on him, obeying his orders and submitting to his punishments, which were frequent and brutal. Spartan boys were fed a meager diet with the belief that it would embolden them to steal food from gardens and other places in order to make them more resourceful in getting supplies and to grow their cunning. Stealing was regarded as good training for the soldiers, but boys who were caught were severely whipped. Whilst the whipping of children is frowned upon in most countries these days, it is said that the boys of Sparta looked forward to the opportunity to publicly display their stoicism, fortitude, and courage. The average day for a Spartan soldier in training would consist of learning survival skills such as camping and foraging, followed by some good old-fashioned wrestling. A common sport played between Spartan boys involved brutally trying to drive each other off an island. As you can imagine, the rules were pretty sparse, with pushing, kicking, biting, and gouging all permitted. In order to toughen up the boys even more, they were not allowed to wear shoes and walked barefoot so that their skin became hard and dry. They were also given just one cloak per year for clothing and had to make their own beds for plants that they foraged. As the boys turned into teenagers, they were expected to take an older man as an Orestes, something akin to a mentor or, as some historians argue, a lover. This was supposed to be a learning experience for the young men and aid them in creating bonds. This training would continue for years, with long days and short nights designed to beat these boys down to submission, with the aim to create Spartan males who were ready to sacrifice everything for Sparta. Whilst it could be easy to imagine Spartans as brutes with little knowledge outside the realms of violence, British historian Stephen Hodkinson argues that the Spartans received the standard Greek education in reading, writing, numbers, song, and dance. Surprisingly, the agog didn't, strictly speaking, include any actual military training, but the constant emphasis on physical fitness and indifference to pain and suffering made them a lot stronger and tougher than your average man. The Spartans' real secret lied in their superior organization. Spartan troops drilled tactics relentlessly until they could be executed with perfection. According to Plutarch, no man was allowed to live as he pleased, but in their city, as in a military encampment, they always had a prescribed regimen. This made the Spartans truly a force to fear on the battlefield, with thousands of men acting as if all part of the same organism moving seamlessly together as a unit. An impenetrable wall of death, unstoppable and unrelenting. It wasn't until the age of 60 that a Spartan soldier, after decades of constant training and fighting, they were eventually allowed to sit back and relax, leaving room for the next generation of killers to come through. All of this training and constant war turned the Spartans into one of the most feared armies in the world. But as is the way in our history, nothing can last forever. In fact, Sparta's own tradition and rigid ideology surrounding the training and procuring of their soldiers was a major factor in what eventually brought this great civilization to its knees. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe for more interesting tales from history.